Love is patient and kind. The stars were shining bright during the solar eclipse, and it almost felt like I was taking a glimpse through our galaxy. A quiet night, unbothered by the darkness of the moon, I was getting ready to meet a stranger with whom I've only shared interests through social media. I stared at myself in the mirror, picking apart the flaws that make me human. I took deep breaths to calm the anxiety I never experienced until now, and walked through my garage door to find a 6-foot, sandy blonde-hair young man walking to my doorstep. He introduced himself as Cole with a smile that lit up the room. I knew he was going to change my life forever. He opened the passenger car door for me, and even though it caught me by surprise he was driving a 2007 Prius Toyota, I was ecstatic to go on an adventure. Cole took us to his brother's house where we all met up, and rode in one vehicle to the light that shoots from the pyramid in the sky, calling this place Sin City. We held hands and shared a slushie that was spiked with rum. As walked through the casinos, it wasn't anything we hadn't seen before. After a couple of hours, we parted ways with his brother and decided to ride the famous LANQ. I've liked Cole for a long time, and now that we had the chance to be alone my head was spiraling. Ferris wheel rides are my favorite, and sharing this intimate moment with Cole made me anxious. Before getting on the ride, a photographer was taking pictures of people, and it's optional to purchase your photo after the ride. As we were taking photos, the photographer asked if we were a couple, and since I didn't know how to answer the photographer's question if we were together or not, I said yes. At that moment, he asked us to kiss, and so I took the initiative to kiss Cole first. Pet kisses are usually quick, but this kiss had a spark, and I knew Cole felt it because it caught him off guard. My palms were sweaty, and my heart was pounding out of my chest. What on earth was I thinking? I could feel his eyes staring at me in the corner of my eye, but I was trying to avoid making eye contact with him. The higher on the LANQ we got, the more breathtaking the view became. Views like this never disappoint when there is such beauty being seen. Finally, I glanced at Cole and our eyes locked. I couldn't pull away no matter how hard I tried. It was impossible to resist him. Cole grabbed my hands and asked if we could kiss again, and all I could do was smile in disbelief that he'd ask such an unusual question. A respectful question, I might add. When we kissed the second time, it was slow and intimate, nothing I was used to at the age of 20 years old. It was a passionate kiss that gave me goosebumps all over my body, and long after the kiss. This was the first time I had ever truly kissed someone like this, the kind that hit me like a bullet and gave me a kissing addiction. After the LANQ, neither of us was ready to call it a night, so we made our way towards the Mandalay Bay Hotel. As we passed through the casinos, it felt empty, almost as if the universe was clearing the way for our entry. It was nice being in a place that wasn't so crowded. Cole and I held hands and pretended, just for one night, that nothing in this world mattered to us, except each other. I didn't believe it was possible to feel a strong connection with someone, that it electrifies through you until this very night. We arrived at Mandalay Bay and took the elevator to the 36th floor, where we ran down the hallways and found an unexpected room with a view of the Las Vegas Strip. Surprisingly, the door was unlocked, and we were able to sit in that room alone. I didn't want the night to end, or for someone who was once a stranger and now a friend to disappear when the sun rises. Cole and I talked for a little while about what we both expect from this life and all the things we hope to achieve. Some people might think our conversations were cliché, but it was one of the most intimate conversations I'd ever had. His presence felt like magic, and as I watched carefully with every word he spoke, I realized that he was an intelligent young man. He was confident with his appearance and the things we spoke about. I felt like a magnet to him because I wanted to learn how to be that same way with myself. Cole understood me as a person, and he listened to me speak about how important it was for me to follow my dreams of becoming a writer. Honestly, who does that on a first date at my age? Hardly anyone. The night was coming to an end. I felt like I knew Cole from the time he was in elementary school, up to the day he met me. We covered everything from our childhood and what we're doing with our adult life. As we waited for the elevator to go back down to the lobby, I wasn't anxious anymore, and I felt relieved. I no longer felt nervous about tomorrow, or the day after, because being around Cole had given me a peaceful mind. It was almost like his presence was heaven. It didn't take long for the elevator to arrive, and we were almost to the lobby. It was nice to be the only two people riding down. I smiled at the elevator song "Love Me Like You Do" by Ellie Goulding because it described every bit of how I felt, and I couldn't help myself. Cole grabbed my waist and pushed me against the wall, holding my hands above my head while our thirsty lips locked. He kissed my neck softly but kissed my lips aggressively. He let go of one of my hands to pull my waist closer to him, not allowing either of us to regret this moment. We were interrupted by the elevator ding sound warning us the doors were about to open. I couldn't believe he 50 shades grayed me. We pulled away from each other and acted as if nothing happened. Clearly, anyone who walked into that elevator had their suspicion. At that moment, I had the most adrenaline I've ever experienced, and my heart was racing. It was the most fun I'd had with someone in a very long time. Cole and I waited in the pickup area of the hotel for an Uber, hugging and laughing at each other. I was grateful to have met him. Whether or not we'd remained in contact with each other when the summer night ended was a mystery. The universe brought us together for a reason, and I strongly believe that it was to convince me that I deserved to be happy and feel loved. That night was magical on so many levels, emotionally, physically, and mentally. Most people who heard this story didn't believe it, but now in the present 6 years later we've traveled around the world happily married.